So we're diving deep into deep conversations here on Let's Talk About the Deep Stuff. I'm your host, Sean Kneese, and joining me is my co-host and good friend, Harrison. And we're going to talk about our respective, I guess respective is the word, right? Like different.
I'd say so.
Respective high school and
we're all mature enough to know what the difference is between
respective. Yeah, exactly.
You know.
So we were having this conversation about the public education system, like your experience with it, my experience with it, and like you said, like we kind of had differing experiences.
Yeah,
I guess because
absolutely.
Sometimes I don't know how I categorize myself. I was a pretty strange kid in a lot of ways. I did like find like people I was friends with and stuff like that.
Sorry, our friend sneezed.
Our friend John just sneezed. So.
Our friend John Chen is here, and he's hanging out with us talking about the deep stuff.
Yeah.
But, continue.
Yeah, exactly. But then, of course, at times I would run into bullying and things like that for being kind of like a strange kid. But I kind of brought it on myself because I didn't know, I think, when I was once I hit like preteens, I kind of fell behind with how to do like the social interaction. It's like my brain kind of developed a little slower in some ways, I think, than my other peers. When I was born, there was like this cord wrapped around my neck, and like I think that had some effect on it. Like maybe
really
that I developed at kind of a slower rate, so I couldn't like relate to my peers too much, like in middle school and or most of high school. And I think in a way I kind of coped was kind of just. Like I would act in like strange ways, or I would say kind of random things in class. Sometimes it would get people to laugh, but like it would kind of draw like negative attention to stuff, and I had a bit of hard time. What? I
completely get that because like we were talking about earlier today.
Put it on the
my brother. My brother was kind of similar. He was the kind of kid to like interrupt a teacher and correct him, and it was always weird because he got a lot of shit for it because my brother's a very book smart kid, but common sense wise sometimes he falls on it, which it's not a problem, but I think that's why we're brothers, It's like we both support each other in certain ways. I have all the street smarts and he has all the book smarts, but if we were come together you can do anything, and that's I feel like that's why we're together, Sean.
Do it. That's what we were talking about, like doing like when we started like doing the show together, when I had you in as like the co-host, like assistant and all that, like because we kind of have like the ways our brains work kind of like balance each other out,
and we had both of the complete opposite experiences. So
did you So, like, you were more of, like, an athlete at high school. Did you ever bully anybody? Were you...
Absolutely not. No, I was kind of the kid that everybody just came to, and I don't know. I was friends with everybody. It didn't really matter who you were or who they were talking to at the time. It's nothing... Everyone just always got along with me, it seemed, and... I think that was an energy thing, the way I go off on people, but it's not that it matters, it's, I don't know, it doesn't change our futures, we're all here together right now, and, but, I don't know, it's weird, it's a weird,
But you said, like, your brother had, like, a different experience, and then, like, I guess because I consider myself like a late bloomer, and I was talking about that. Like it took me longer to get like certain things. I mean, I was in like a band in high school.
Yeah.
We were like a punk band, and we played some shows and stuff. But I had a lot of trouble like sitting still in the class. Like I'd always get up and like get the pass and like walk around.
Yeah.
And I would do things sometimes intentionally to kind of irritate like other classmates because it just like getting a reaction. Like I couldn't relate to like the high school world, so I guess that was kind of like my way of like coping with anything. And I went through a bit of like the mall core, like trying to be all different, like no one understands me. I'm an individual with my Slipknot shirt and my Hot Topic pants. And then like I kind of matured out of that, and I made good friends with a guy. Like he actually grew up in Passaic, and he came from like a more urban, and he kind of changed my perspective a bit because I saw like, okay, I'm just like kind of a privileged white guy. Like I'm not really like that different like kind of guy. Like I'm not like that, but it's like
I don't like when everybody calls everybody privileged or something like that, because we're all in like a set of
well, like everybody has like
a part of America right now where nobody's really
I guess the way I would phrase it was like I grew up in like a suburb. It made me more aware like how other people like maybe in other towns or like other areas like maybe are less. It made me aware of like more like how fortunate it was like to be
no,
in,
absolutely
like, a suburban,
no. It is.
Yeah.
To be honest, it is nice to have a mother or a father who do a lot for you, and people like to go right away saying that's privileged, but
well, maybe a better way to put it is like fortunate. Like I guess like yeah, like being grateful for like putting it in perspective. And I guess I also came to like get out of my own way a bit because I was kind of in my own way. Like I'm the individual, like I'm the rep, but it's like then I just started to realize like everybody's different.
Absolutely.
And I started opening myself more to like understanding other people. I think for a while I was kind of stuck in my own way. Like I'm this unique individual. I'm the nonconformist. Nobody understands me. But like I didn't try to understand other people that much.
That's actually a interesting thing with education too, because well, since the topic is education today, and like you're saying, you didn't want to really put yourself out there as much in high school, and like there are some people who don't put themselves out there and still get the attention, and it's not like a personality thing. I think it's just the way you carry yourself, like we were talking earlier about.
Yeah. I didn't know how to stand up for myself a lot in high school, and that's why a lot of people viewed me as like an easy target, and that built up like resentment even into adulthood. Like I didn't stand up to myself back then, and like like going in adulthood, I wanted to make up for that. Like be more sort of I kind of let people walk all over me at times.
I have a history doing that too, even though we both had opposite grow-ups in high school. I don't know. I feel like I was raised on the thing of treat others the way you want to be treated, and I do so, but people don't always treat you like that. People don't always treat the way you want to be treated. And I've noticed that. So after a certain point, I was like, all right, so if they want to treat me like that, you give it back to them.
Yeah.
And it's weird, but true. You have to at times. Some people don't care about what you have going on during the day, or your feelings, or if you're upset or going through a lot. Some people don't care because all they do is care about themselves, which is it's not a bad thing. Mm-hmm. Always care about yourself, but some people just take it a little too far and don't think about others.
And I think that and one thing, like I guess I kind of was like only looking at my own perspective, like because I was so focused on like I'm the different one, I'm the the goth, I'm the unique guy, I'm the weird guy, and like they're all the ones that don't understand me. I'm the misunderstood you. But I then I realized later on, like I can be myself with all my eccentricities and everything, and still get along with like other people.
Yeah,
like that's something I didn't get because I was all stuck in my own way. Oh, it's everybody else. It's not me. It's everybody else. And I know some people who are still stuck in that way.
That's actually
like people who haven't even changed from high school that still think the problem's all everybody else and it's not them. And I started to realize like, no, like it's like if I change my behavior, like if I'm a little more considerate and like I consider some of these things and I learn these things, I can still be myself, but still get along with other people and still function,
Sean,
in society.
You kind of said it like perfectly, because a lot of people like to change for other people, mm-hmm. and it's sad because why are you changing yourself to lift the other person up? No, don't change. Be yourself, because that's when it causes problems. it's a very weird subject because people don't want change. A lot of people don't want change, but
you don't grow without change.
And
like, you don't grow without if you're stuck in like your way. Because I know people like that I knew back in high school. They're the same way, same views, same rigid viewpoint, and like they're just in their own way, their own world, and it's like they've never grown. Or like taken,
I feel like a good example is saying, okay, so me and my brother are polar opposites, yes, but he a hoarder, a hoarder. They like to keep everything a similar way, and they don't want to get rid of anything ever. Where me, I'm like, I'm never going to use this again. I'm going to throw it out. So that was a big thing growing up in my life with me and my brother because he didn't ever want to get rid of anything. And I would just be like, Sammy, this is garbage now. You realize it's never going to come to use again. Where my dad's similar to that. My mother is more similar to me, so it's like a weird topic because, and now I'm going off topic, but I find it weird because people don't want change, like we were saying prior.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you change yourself, like people say people can't change, but I find that so incorrect. If you want something, you can do it.
But you have to be willing to get outside like your own way and your own perspective.
Exactly. Yeah. You have to change your own ways.
And the problem with high school is like people get into these cliques and they group themselves, and then some people never get out of that. Like I'm the rebel, so like I can't understand someone different, or I'm the only one. But it's like everybody's different. Everybody has their own struggles, and like somebody just because they don't like listen to some all goth bands and wear all black doesn't mean they're a conformist or whatever. Like some people
absolutely
have that. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
No, for real.
And in fact, that's just kind of buying into like another trend. Like if you're authentically yourself, that's like the main thing. So
no, it's just it's. And again, we're getting far off of education with the topic, but it really is the matter of staying true to yourself and.
Yeah. So I guess you want to keep it more on the learning rather than like the social. I thought we were talking about like school.
No, we are. We are.
Yeah.
No, we're branching far off because we're getting into good topics.
Yeah.
So
well, I feel like that's a big part of adolescence, though. Is like the like it develops like the social. It's stuff that leads to like your adult. Yeah.
But Sean, so like, what were your high school experiences more like? Exactly. What were your high school experiences like?
It was mixed. Like I did have like some friends and stuff, and like people like, but I also didn't know how to like connect or like fit in with people, and I was kind of like I was seen as like a pretty weird kid a lot of times.
Yeah.
And that kind of infected me.
You are weird, bro.
I am, but like in a good way. Like,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding, my friend. That's out of love, my friend.
Yeah. Well, being weird doesn't have to necessarily be like a bad thing.
Man, wait.
But like, I learned to be.
You're an awesome guy.
I learned to be like authentic in who I am with all my eccentricities, but still get along with other people and still not put other people off. So
for like, some people, it takes time to learn that.
And there's some people just like, ooh, I'm stuck in my own way. Nobody understands me. That's their problem. But you can't live life like that because we're all on this earth together.
Absolutely.
You can't accomplish anything meaningful if you don't know how to get along with other people. And
no, you're right. Yeah. And that's one thing that I love about since I've met you, John, Danny, everybody, like, even if all the stupid bullshit happens, we all still try to grow each other, and it's
we lift each other up.
Exactly. We don't ignore each other's feelings. I mean, sometimes some people do, but it happens.
Like invalidate or whatever.
It happens. Yeah. It's life, Yeah. But with your high school experience, Sean, I opposite one, which I find interesting because we are very similar. We have a lot of similarities that we like. We connect in a lot of ways. And I kind of grew up in high school. I was big in sports, state champion wrestler, freaking all-pro football player. And that just the things you do make your high school experience different. And I find it weird because you and I are no different.
Yeah, it's like you learned certain things earlier than I did. I think like certain social things like earlier than I. But then I'm learning more now. It's like that I know more now.
You're right. It's weird. It's the way you talk socially to people or the way you talk to people, just so to say. And it totally changes the way you're brought up in high school, and also there's a lot of things with the education too, and I kind of wanted to get into that with you because I feel like a lot of kids are ignored in school, the way they think, the way they do problems. Like example, I'm gonna give my example because it was a big problem for me. All my teachers always gave me shit for not showing work, and they would always be like, "You're cheating. You're not showing work." But if I did work, I'm dyslexic. If I did work, it would confuse me more. I'd mix up the problems. So I was a picture learner. I saw everything in my head prior, but they didn't believe me. So I was happy once I did the SATs and ACTs because I scored a 32 on my ACT and 1400 on my SAT, I think it was, and something like that. And it was just my guidance counselor came up to me and was like, "Why didn't you try in school?" I was like, "You guys put me in small classes because I don't show my work. Why do you think you know the way I think?"
Exactly. Yeah.
It was just so wrong. I hated the learning side of my high school experience.
They didn't try to accommodate you and see where your learning could.
Yeah. And then once I did testing, they were like, "What the fuck, Harrison?" And I was like, "Well, I told y'all, but you ignore me. You ignore my feelings. You ignore what I'm trying to do. I can't do any math work without getting in trouble for cheating." And it was weird. I just didn't get it. Well, they wouldn't blame me for cheating right away. Every time they would look at it and obviously analyze, be like, blah blah blah, who's next to him, but the math hit my. I'm good at math in my head. I can't do it on paper.
Yeah, math was always my worst subject. Even when I went into because I went to a community college after high school, and that was kind of a post high school. It was kind of the similar thing as high school. Yeah, in some ways, and they kind of wanted to. I don't know. It was a way to kind of
nice one.
Yeah, weed. I feel like they. Especially in high school, it was kind of they put the kids they didn't want to deal with in the resource room and everything, and the same thing with community college. I felt like they didn't really want to help the students. It was a way to kind of weed out.
To be honest, I feel like with a lot of teachers and schools nowadays, it's a job. They don't have the drive. They don't. A lot of these teachers come in and thinking it's just easy to teach a kid, but you have to hit every student mentally somewhere in order for them to be taught. If you come to them and make them want to learn, boom, they will excel in whatever you're teaching them. But a lot of teachers ignore the fact that there are 24 kids in this fucking room right now.
Yeah.
None of them are similar.
So, none of their brains work the same, so why would they all have the same process?
You have to go to every kid and figure out how they learn. And that's so hard for a teacher.
Yeah.
I bet that's the most stressful thing about their day. But That's why I'm not going to blame the teacher.
Yeah, and I guess that's why they make the smaller classes. But I didn't like. But I remember when I was in the smaller classes, like my one teacher was telling me, like, you shouldn't even be in small classes. You should be in regular classes. Like, you could even be in honors classes. It's just like you don't. You don't
put your you didn't have the drive like some other kids did, or like, so to say, you had other things that were you wanted to deal with, like, so to say, for me it was football. I focused on football, fighting. For you it could have been writing, working on more podcasts, anything.
Well, back then it was like the band, like I'm going to be like this Jello Biafra guy when I grow up, and like none of this matters. I'm the rebel.
You can play a mean bass, Sean. You can play a mean bass. That's for sure. That's for sure. But it is weird how just because of high school people look at you differently, or like your upbringing growing up, people think it matters a lot, but I don't think it does, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, if you look into the person, oh my God.
Yeah. But there were people who thought I was... But I also got, like, a lot of people thought I was... and especially, like, when I was even younger, I guess it was because the way I acted, the way I reacted to things and stuff, was, like, being called... Well, people thought I was, like... I'm trying to think of the better... I know, like, retarded's not the better way.
No,
honestly, people thought I was slow, or like I had some kind of like
Sean,
like that.
Sean, I worked with in my high school. I was one of the assistants for the special needs kids. Dude, those kids do not care if you call them. Well, okay, some do. That sounds wrong, but retarded. They're special needs. There are a lot of words that will throw them off, but they're not different than any of us. It's they all think the same, and I noticed that working with them, and that was the sad thing, because people always like would say they're retarded, but they just have something that holds them back, and something they can't control. So this one kid, Adam, I loved, and he still texts me to this day. He would always come to me and pick on me, like, as a joke, but it was awesome because he was trying to show me that he's no different than everybody. It was his way of letting it out, and it was awesome because him and I would just pick on each other every day. He ended up being my little, which, well, the little was the thing with if you helped the kids with special needs, you had a little, and it was weird, but it was awesome. It was beautiful. It taught me a lot, and ever since then, I've never looked differently on anybody with Down syndrome, anything where your chromosomes are different, or it's just they're no different than you and I. They can speak, they can think, but there's some things holding them back, and they can't control it.
Yeah, but it led I guess it just like led to like some insecurity, because like when I was younger, a lot at like certain times in elementary, it was like a mixed experience. Like I said, like I did have friends, but then there were also like negative experiences with people too, like thinking I had like I was mentally retarded, or or there was something wrong with me. I guess because like the way I act, like
people are just assholes.
Yeah, and so like I guess sometimes, like especially when I've been doing podcasting since like 2012 actually, like with BSing, and so like that's when I started, like, but like I for a while, like hearing my voice, like I'd have an insecurity about it, like I'd think I sound autistic, or I think I'd sound like monotone, like that was like a big insecurity.
Don't even
like it's gone away now. Now I embrace, but like I like people. I have a good voice, so it's like, but that was an insecurity of mine, like for a while and everything. Like,
No, don't even let that type of shit get to you. People, if you're confident in yourself, hold yourself tall.
Yeah.
Good posture.
Yeah.
You'll go far. And it's true. It's the way you hold yourself that carries.
Yeah, and then for a while I was thinking, like, I missed out on, like, the younger years because I didn't develop my social skills in high school. And I didn't go away to college. I mean, I went to community college, made some friends there and stuff, but it's like I felt like I missed out on, like, the experiences I should have had that would have developed me when I was younger. But then it's also like I'm a late bloomer, so I'm, like, appreciating things, like, in an older age.
I understand that too. But the way it seems to work, you know, the early bloomers, so to say, that's why we're different. Like I had a social experience in high school.
Yeah, you're kind of like the early bloomer. If I were an early bloomer, I'd be you, kind of thing. Is that what
kind of,
like,
yeah. But the thing is, the difference between the late bloomer and the early bloomer, I feel like that they both have different experiences for reasons. Like, the late bloomer, I feel, goes further in life and ends up having better experiences later in life, which is not a bad thing.
No.
And all the early bloomers, it seems to see that they die early, or they party too hardy and then go get fucked up one night and then don't wake up. You know, it's sad but true. You know,
and I think I mentioned that, like, in my recent solo episode, like how life's exciting and new to me now, and like for a lot of people my age, it's
that's
just like,
why you're gonna go far in life.
Yeah.
Where I'm trying my hardest. I've been arrested a few times, but shit, man, I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna die early. I think I'll have a good ass life, but I feel like there's a difference between the early bloomers and the late bloomers with the way they're raised, or there's something to it that ends up being important.
Yeah.
I can't put a hand on it.
They kind of balance each other out. Like
we build each other.
Yeah.
And it's hard to say because we don't know where we will be taken in this journey of a lifetime.
Yeah.
But I feel like we all met for a reason, and
it all kind of happened by chance, just like working through working at Big Messages. I met your girlfriend Danny, and I became friends with her, and she invited me out to introduce all you guys, and now we're doing a podcast together. And it's the weirdest thing. It's like that job. When I originally got the call, I called him. I was like, "Nah, I don't want it." And then I was like, I called him back. I'm like, "Yeah, I want it." And then he was like, "Okay, come in and do this and that." So
and then now Big Messages has nothing to do with your life now.
Yeah.
And we're here hanging out.
Yeah. It's just weird. It was like I was meant to do that, and then it led to that. It's like, it's weird how life works.
All patterns cross in such a weird way. And I still love how every time we talk about education today, it brings us to such a deeper topic, and that's why we talk about the deep stuff, guys. That's why we talk about the deep stuff.
Talk about the deep stuff.
The deep stuff. That's what we're here for.
And we got a Norse god as he's taking the form of a terrier right now.
Yeah. Thor, our dog, he's a Maltese Jack Russell Terrier. And he thinks he's a big dog, but he's a small ass little shit.
Yeah.
And then I think John, our friend, passed out, but
oh yeah, he would have added some interesting stuff to this.
John's a cool guy, but me and Sean are here to talk about education and the deep stuff, and we keep getting further into the deep stuff.
But like, to me, like, community college was like a second high school in some ways. I mean, I made some good friends there, and there was like some good but it took me a while to get focused, like decide what I was doing and everything, and I think the math held me back because I was like, so it took me. I started 2007. It took me till 2012 to graduate, but then I got into Kane for like
Kane University.
Kane's
University. A nice college. I actually wanted to go there, but
and then when I got to Kane, that's when I started, like, I got serious, and like I had like I I think like 3.7 GPA there, and I got like serious. Like I took film classes as my study. I didn't stick with film because after that I started like falling into one.
That's all I stuck with in college film.
Yeah,
That's
and then
why
I went
into
acting.
stunts.
Yeah, and then I went into acting after I graduated. And I was doing like a lot of background work and like I did like short films and stuff.
Yeah.
And then eventually, like I had been doing this podcast too, so I was like, I want to use that, like see what I could use that for professionally. So I went for my master's in at Fordham, like public media, and then like I got really serious about that. I graduated magna cum laude with that. I did like I did another podcast, and like I did like some work with that, but like a lot of it's like freelance and everything. So now I work with Atlantic Health, which is just like not that field, but like I enjoy my job and everything.
That's all that matters, man. Yeah. Fucking enjoy the job. That's so good.
And I'm still like building this thing up on the side too. So it's like, yeah.
You were cracking me up last night, and you talking about that weirdly got me thinking of the not even close.
Not even close.
And like some people aren't even close to being happy with their jobs, and that's when you're miserable. That's when you feel your worst.
Exactly.
You know? People stop and
and I feel like when you're happy with the present, like now I'm happy with the present. I feel like it is helping me work towards the future more, because when you're not coming from a place of lack. It's coming from a place of like abundance. Absolutely. And when you come from a place of abundance, then more abundance comes, because you don't. It was actually I talk about Neville Goddard a lot, but he says that you don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. So if you're feeling abundant, you're going to attract more abundance. If you're feeling lack, you're going to attract more lack. So now I feel more like abundance, and I feel like I'm going to draw more success that way.
Absolutely. I like that. And like we were saying earlier, the higher you carry yourself.
Yeah. Because I was insecure about my height for a while. That was a thing. Like I thought like women
don't let height bring you down.
And then I met you, like, like you showed me that it's like, because you're about the same height as me, it's all like how you carry yourself. It's your confidence.
You made me smile big earlier today when you said that. Because I am 5'6". I'm short, but everything I do, I always carry myself high. You have to at our height. If you don't, people will step on you.
Exactly.
And I've always been good at that, because people avoid me because I carry myself high. In high school, people would tell me they're scared of me, and I was like, "What?" It's like, if you talk to me, I'm the nicest person in the world. I'm not trying. I'm being humble about that. I don't know. I didn't treat anybody with harm. I love everybody until you give me a reason to hate you.
Yeah.
But
as long as they're not assholes, or
exactly. If you treat me wrong, I'll treat you wrong. If you treat me right, I'll treat you right. But the way you carry yourself matters, because people will step all over you.
And I had that problem before, because like I'd always be like unsure, and I think it's because like like sometimes when you're smarter, you don't always have all the answers all right away. Sometimes like there's more questions, and it's harder to be like sure of yourself. I think that was my thing. Like,
I love that. I love that, because that's always been a big thing with Sammy, my brother. He instead of looking at the exact thing in front of him, he'll go, "Why?" And I'm like, "Sammy, no. Look at the fact. It's you see it. Use your instincts to see it. It's right here. That's what's happening. Don't think too much about it." And he does that a lot, and I try to tell him, I'm like, "Sam, that causes assumptions, and assumptions, I think, are bad. I don't know what everybody thinks about assumptions, but if you assume something someone else is doing, it automatically upsets them. They're like, even if you're right or wrong, for some reason they're like, "Why are you assuming it?" Well, why are you assuming I'm doing this? And it's like, okay, well, instead of making the assumption, just go with the fact, and if you call him out on it, call him out on it. But
so like thinking too much, like not seeming unsure, is that your thing?
No, a lot of people don't like assumptions. Is where I'm getting at.
Yeah.
You know, or
you mean like sometimes he'd assume things, or like about people, or
yeah, no, about everybody. And honestly, that's coming from me because my brother assumes a lot on me. So again, I'm getting off topic, but it's just weird what assumptions can do to people.
Yeah, because I think if you're someone, and that was something I had to work on the podcast, was like sounding more sure of myself rather than like so what do you want to talk about? Like it's taken a while to get all this shit in my head to like be centered, be confident, be my own rock,
Be my
like
own
said,
rock,
yeah, be my own rock, and just like be and not be the deer in head. Like you said that because I told you I have like the connection to deer, like it's kind of a spiritual connection to deer, and you said there was like you kind of observed like a reason for that, like you think like the deer is kind of me, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, instead of and this is not offensive at all. I don't want it to come off that, but a deer watches and observes, and instead of taking action,
yeah,
they learn from it. It's
they're introspective. Yeah.
Yeah, and
they should think more about like not
later
driving in front
on,
of the road, but
later on, so to say, if they actually grow in a way, maybe they'll take what they've watched and actually become a different type of animal.
Yep.
You know,
like that buck on the deer on the motorcycle. I have a picture of.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, yeah, you're the deer on the motorcycle. You just gotta drive your ride, man.
Exactly.
you gotta take control of the motorcycle,
yeah.
man. And we've been hanging out a lot lately, and I love you to death, man. But fucking A, take control of that motorcycle, brother.
Oh yeah, man.
I know you can. And I think that's why we met, brother.
Yeah.
Because you're helping me in certain ways, and
yeah, and I'm helping, and you're helping me in certain ways.
Yeah, we're both learning from each other.
Exactly.
It's wonderful.
But that kind of relates to what I was saying, like getting out of your own way. Like I know people who don't get out of their own way, and just kind of like, this is it. Like I'm just the anarchist. Ooh. Like, but it's like, you know, like you got to live in the
no,
you're
you're not wrong.
Like, yeah, yeah.
But let's get back to the topic of education. I kind of wanted to say a few things about it because it's very misguiding nowadays, learning through public schools, and no matter what way you learn, it seems like no matter what you do, nothing's right, or unless you're a perfect A-grade student, and it's wrong, you know. I feel like they don't pay attention to enough to people who learn differently, or
yeah. And that's what I like that my boss at my new job, like I pretty much got everything besides like the front desk, but she's like, I told her I had like a learning disability growing up and stuff, so she's just really trying to work with me to see with like what kind of learning style works for me to learn this. And she said, like, you know, and it's fine. She says, like, you know, you're fun and strange and cool, so we like it.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like,
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man.
But I think that's what you gotta do, is just like sit with the person and see like what works for them, what gets them interested in stuff, rather than just thinking, oh, they don't care about this class. Like,
yeah. It's not that they don't care. It's
no.
You're not hitting them mentally.
Exactly.
You want to be able to what's the word for it? Take control of their mind in a way.
Yeah. Because like everybody has a different like way it's wired. It's like, yeah.
You can't ignore them for learning differently, and that was my high school thing, and it sucked because my teachers all thought I was fucking stupid. I was in small classes for a while, and then once they realized, like, I knew what I was doing. They put me in bigger classes, but then it still was stupid because they still thought differently about you. And
yeah, and that was kind of similar to experience to me, like junior and senior year. That's when I started going into the main classes and everything.
That's why my entire life I focused on sports, because it's like, oh shit, I'm good at this, and I'm not getting shit for it.
Yeah.
So, might as well frickin' put all my skills into this.
Like, and me, it's just like, oh, I'm going to be in some classic punk band or whatever. So it's like none of this shit matters. Like,
yeah,
I'm the next Jello Biafra or whatever.
Hell yeah, man.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, you are. Sean's badass, guys. Sean can play a mean fucking bass. He was playing last night at my brother's bonfire, and goddamn. But no, me and Sean kind of went all over the place today, I think.
Yeah, but that's what's good about like these kind of off the cuff conversations. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
yeah. Was there more you want to add, like about education and stuff, or
honestly? No, I think we went we went off today. We kind of branched out in multiple places, and
trying to think. Well, we'll think of a good title for this episode, I guess.
Yeah, no, we'll definitely have to go through it.
Yeah,
for our listeners. But, hello, people.
Yeah, but anyway. Anyway, you want to keep updated with future episodes of Let's Talk About the Deep Stuff. I'm on Spotify or wherever you get your trying to get it on iTunes, but there's the annoying cover art.
Let's talk about the deep stuff.
And if you want to donate, Venmo is SEAN-KNEESE, or Zelle is SKNEESE1989 at gmail.com. It's the same for
do it!
PayPal. Donate! Support the deep stuff. Hell yeah!
Support the deep stuff.
And that's about That's about it for this episode. We'll catch you on the next one. You thought we were done?
No, not even close.
We're just beginning.